Hi everyone, we are here with my friend Kotte. I'm sure that many of you know her if you're in New Zealand or if you are based in Christchurch, because she is the freaking badass yoga teacher that's been just changing society pretty much here in town. Kotte is an award-winning yoga teacher and she's a TED speaker, she's a motivational speaker, and she's devoted the last 5 years of her life to bringing change into our communities through yoga. Kotte is from Chile and I wanted to get her on the YouTube channel today because she has just so much to give and so much to share when it comes to being an expat and pursuing your dreams, regardless of where you are, where you come from, what your degree is, and just, yeah, we'll just start. Hi, Kotte.
Hey, that's a nice introduction.
Well, it's not, these are all things that are true, you know, so I'm not coming up with anything that you haven't done.
This is nice though, you know. Thanks.
Yeah. So, I would like for you to share with the people, how did you come to New Zealand and how did your journey started with yoga, and yeah, so all yours.
Kia ora everyone. I moved to New Zealand when I was 18, applied for a working holiday visa. And my option was Argentina, Canada, or New Zealand. I really wanted to try New Zealand. At the time, I would say over 10 years ago, working holidays weren't as well known as they are, like very globally well known now. So it was hard, but it was, now it takes you like half of a second to run out of applications. Probably took me about a minute to get the system like, okay, it's too many people right now. And I got the visa. The reason why I liked working holiday and interested me was because you can learn, I was able to learn English and work. So studying and working holiday. So it was for me the only way to be able to fund my time away, to be able to experience life in another country, and also to learn, because I didn't speak a single word of English before I came here.
Can I just stop you for a second and say that you were 18?
I just turned 18.
You were 18 years old. Wow.
I know I still look 18. But
I know. 18 forever.
18 forever. And so working holiday was how I got here. And then I read a blog in Chile about if you were a non-English speaker and a working holiday, it was easier to find jobs in Christchurch on the South Island than in Auckland, where everyone goes and it's very expensive to live. That hasn't changed, which is why I came to Christchurch. That was a reason of, I was like, okay, cheap, okay, I'll go to Christchurch. And that was over 10 years ago. I've been here ever since. It wasn't planned. My plan was, I guess my dream and my plan before I came here was to do 1 year New Zealand, 1 year Australia, 1 year Canada, 1 year Japan, and just go through the whole, I guess all the agreements that you have with the Chilean government to go out and explore all the cultures. But New Zealand just happened. When people ask me, what do you say, how do you stay, and what do you have to do to get a visa, which is a question that quite bothers me, to be honest. It was something that just happened, It was like this, it's just happening. It's just very organic. It wasn't like, okay, 2019 I'm gonna do this, 28. It was just, I look back now, and I think the biggest moment for me to realize that I've been here 10 years was for my citizenship ceremony last year, when I was just like, wait, what? Wow, in the same city? So yeah.
Christchurch kind of like, I reckon, has that effect. Like, I came here like 4 years ago for a few months, and here I am. I guess it's like with all the things that this city has gone through, it's just like it's such a resilient community filled with like entrepreneurs and creatives and people just wanting to bring change into the world. So that's why like I'm so happy that years ago we met, not through yoga but in a different way. So would you like to tell us how you started doing yoga and when like that click happened and you were like, hey, I can be a teacher? But then it evolved and you became a businesswoman, a successful businesswoman. So I love your story, and yeah, back to you.
That's a lot of heads or a lot of labels, you know. I like to think I'm Kotte and I run a social enterprise called Yoga By Kotte, and then everything else around is like I guess trying to walk my talk. I don't think I knew I was a businesswoman. Let's start from the beginning. I found yoga through my friend, my Chilean friend, one of the 2 or 3 Chilean friends I have. After not having a good time and I was not very well in my health, in my mind, in my heart. I was really overwhelmed in Christchurch, and she just dragged me to a class, and I hated her and I hated the class, but at the same time I loved the class. So through the 90 minutes of my class I wanted to run away, but at the same time I wanted to teach. It was like that moment was like boom. From 90 minutes I was like, I hate this, I love this, I will do this for the rest of my life, I will never come back here. And then after that class I went back every single day for about a year. I'm sure I missed one day because the studio happened to be closed for Christmas Day or something like that. And I was real gutted. I was just like, whoa, like what am I gonna do? And I guess no obsession is good. But the thing is, it wasn't an obsession. Maybe there was a point where I was like maybe doing too much yoga in one day. But I think the obsession or the excitement came from like getting to know myself, which is why it became a passion of mine. Like I feel like I spent my whole life in here and I never got the chance, or I never bothered going through here. And that really changed my life. I was just like, wait, what? I have a body, I have thoughts that I can reflect on, that I can observe, that I can shift, that I can change and empower me. Doing my yoga practice empowers me, because whether I'm broken or not, or whether I feel tired and broken, I mean, I'm not meaning like I'm a sad person. It's more like if I'm tired because I've been running.
Or humans.
Absolutely.
Right?
But I mean it in any aspect, like I broke a toe, or I fell, or I'm tired, or having sleep, or having trouble focusing. Whatever shape and mindset you come onto your mind, you will always live feeling better, which is why it became something that I introduced in my life. I was like, actually, this is something I should be doing every day. But then there was a self-doubt, which I guess goes around where you were telling me about what the theme of today was. The self-doubt, because it took me a few years to go to my teacher training. I took a long time where like, I'm not good enough to be a yoga teacher, I'm not skinny enough, I'm not flexible enough, I have a funny accent, I'm not a citizen, who the heck am I to think I can teach people? And so I lived with that for a long time while I was already getting better, which was kind of it was kind of confusing, because in my brain I was like, half of my body or myself was like gaining confidence and believing in myself and like achieving postures and overcoming fears and maybe being more positive and healthier and kinder to myself. But then at the same time I had the bully inside of me saying like, you a yoga teacher, yeah, right. And I didn't verbalize it to anyone. I just kept it as a secret. I was like almost ashamed that I wanted to teach yoga, because I knew deep down I was not going to be good at it, or I told myself I wasn't. And I think things changed when I went to a festival And I talked to a few teachers that really inspired me. Like that I was just like, oh my God, like who are you? And like, what are you? Like, and I think it was like when my first teacher, Duncan Peak, he was so humble about it and so encouraging that I felt really empowered to be like, actually, maybe I can. I came back and I talked to my best friends very briefly, and also I think I want to do this. Within I think it was within days, I was off to teach, to do my first teacher training with Power Living Power Living Australia. They weren't here yet. And that was the first training. So I came back and I was like, okay, they talked a lot about your voice as a teacher. And I was like, well, my voice doesn't really change. Like, what do you mean my voice? I guess what they meant was your authenticity, which is what Yoga By Kotte stands out. And I can now, after 5 years, say with confidence, before I didn't know I was standing out. I didn't know we're doing things different, you know? I was just teaching yoga, and we talked about it for so many times, you know, like people would shoulder tap me and be like, will you be keen to be a speaker? Will you be keen to talk to this school? Will you want to talk about mental health and well-being? And I was just like, what is happening? Like, I don't think I realized what was happening until I got the award. When I got nominated to an award, I think I didn't really understood what was going on.
Can I just stop for a second?
Yeah.
No, because I just want to say, like, because when you say until you got the award, but it's not like you were waiting for external validation, you know? It's like you would be doing what you're doing and you would be fulfilling your journey with an award. I mean, I say this because I know you, you know?
I know what you're saying. I think the way to...
It gives you different type of confidence. I 100% agree with that, but it's like, I guess it was first your voice, and like when I started going to your classes then, and I would see how you were interacting with people, and I would say like, oh my God, like even my ass is so stretched right now, and I feel so good. And people would approach and say like, oh my God, I love the class, I enjoyed it so much, and like you're teaching me so much. But you were always just saying thank you, being thankful, but staying humble. Because you would just go into the class and say, hey, I kind of like had a shitty day. So who had a shitty day? And we'd be like, me. Okay, let's get this class let's get into it. So people could see from you that you were a human being, you know, not just like this perfect yoga teacher achieving like all these amazing poses and being beyond spiritual, and you know.
I think which is what made me start and fund and you know, that's when Yoga By Kotte was created, when I realized that there was a big problem in the industry. When you just before I forget the validation part and the awards and the TEDx and all of that, you're right, like I was not seeking for validation. I was just doing the work. I chose service in my career.
It was
as a career.
It was like a byproduct of what you were bringing to the table.
I think it was not even about confidence. It was about giving me something back, because I didn't realize how much I was given. I didn't think there was much value. I wanted it to be valuable. I wanted people to feel good, to get to know themselves, to actually do suffer. I wanted to stretch their hamstrings so much that they couldn't get up the next day, like, because I wanted them to feel. But I didn't know if I was doing it well. I just focused on getting things done. That was it. Focus on so when you get a call and say like 4 people nominated you anonymously to an award, and I was not going through a good time in my personal life, so I was like, I can't go. I don't have the stomach to go there. Like, I'm honored, thank you, but I like, there's surely someone better qualified than me, because it was always some self-doubt. And they were like, you kind of have to come. There's 4 people that took the time to nominate you. Don't you think that's...
We're not asking.
And I was like, oh, okay. And then I got it. And for me, that was like... It was funny because when they called me on the stage, I was with one of my best friends. She was my +1. And she started crying. and then she's like, they're calling you. But I thought they were giving you like attendance.
Like we're calling all the people that's here in the room.
I didn't get it. And then I went back to the table and I just like put the frame on the side. Extremely rude. I am so sorry. Exercise industry awards. I put the award on the side and I just kept flipping the, like, I guess the timetable or something, and I carry on with my food, and my friend is just like, you don't want to say anything? Like, she's like, are you okay? And I was just like, yeah. How's your night been? And she's like, what is that? Do you realize you just won? And I was like, what? She's like, and then someone came in green and said, oh my god, congratulations. And I was like, did I win what? She's like, oh my god. I didn't get it, because it's not that I didn't think I could get it. I guess we're going back to, I'm just going all over the place. Let me go back to the focus. Being an immigrant, right? Being a foreign. So this is Roy, by the way. She was a bit inappropriate and didn't introduce him. This is, yeah, Roy's not going to talk today. I guess let's, before they're going back to the being a foreign and insecurities, Yoga By Kotte was founded because I saw a big problem in the industry. And how I came to see the problem was because I felt it. I felt not flexible enough to be a student. I felt not skinny enough to be a student. I felt I didn't have expensive gear to be a student. And I felt like all of those things were important, and I think they will define how good you were. And so I obviously wasn't good because I wasn't wearing expensive stuff and I wasn't super flexible. I have scoliosis. I don't aim to be anything that I'm not, but I wanted to help people. Also the cost, at least the cost what put me off, that I was like, it got to a point where I was like, this is very expensive. How can it be so expensive? And I started with donations at a youth trust where I worked at the start. And I had teachers, they trained with me from Australia, contacting me and saying like, you're undervaluing yourself. You're disrespecting yourself. And at the time, it didn't hurt me what they say. It was irrelevant for me, because I was like, they don't understand. Like, I have to help people. I just have to. That's it. There was not a doubt for me. This saved my life. I gotta give it away. That's my way to pay back. You know, like I'm paying for. So I was like, it's fine if I don't have to earn too much. But then I learned along the way through hardship that for me to be able to give my best in a class, I gotta eat and pay my rent. So I was like, I'm probably giving too much and not getting anything but in return. And that's when the format of being a social enterprise was born. So I wanted to have a huge focus on my impact and just have enough to live. But then I started growing the business and realizing the more I get, the more I give.
Yeah.
Actually, I need the money. I want the money, which has changed everything, because it's changed my focus only through hardship. I got to that point. If I was charging the $20 a class that anyone charges from day one, I wouldn't have the career or the path that I have. I probably wouldn't have done a TEDx talk. I probably wouldn't have got an award. So all of my choices based on genuinely wanting to help and use a skill for, like you said at the start, disrupting a community or disrupting and bringing change. And disrupting, we associate that word with negative. It's like disruption always bad.
I think disruption it's the
best thing.
It's the best thing, 100%.
I think these things need to be disrupted. So when you drop, I was talking to a friend yesterday, if you drop a rock in the water, you can see like the reflection, and it goes like the waves. And it starts from the middle and it goes out and out and out and out. And it can go out for miles. But it doesn't change. But if I drop another one right next to it, it will disrupt the other one and it will create a different shape. So it will change everything. So I think disruption is extremely needed. We're afraid of this change.
We're so afraid. I was, we've talked about this before, that I tell you that you, by focusing on, because you come from a different culture, and again, coming back to being an expat, so we kind of like grew maybe with a different system value or like a different paradigm on the way that we approach things in South America, kind of like just doing the best you can with what you have, But then I've told you this before, that you have, being a foreigner, you have this quite unique blend in which you, without really 100% being aware of it, you created like it's what in business it's known as a blue ocean, which is like something when you're challenging the status quo of an industry and you just create your own, you know, you create different rules. And it takes me back to what you were saying, that so many like yoga teachers and like so many people were telling you, how are you doing this, like or like even like with the events, how are you doing events, how are you doing this, like who are you, like who do you think you are, you've been teaching for like 2 years, 1 year, like where do you come from? And you're just saying like, you know what, fuck it, I'm sorry I curse, but like just saying, not literally, but just saying like, hey, this is the vision I have, and people is connecting with me, and I will respect my community, even if that implies that I may have to have not like the best friends within the industry. Not to say that you don't, but just to say that you got your own back. You got your own back.
Yeah, I think that's the thing.
And that's so important, and that's what innovation is about, and that's what I mean with disrupting the system. Like create something different, you know.
I'm also not afraid. I think you bring an interesting point. I'm not afraid to stand on my own. I think it's been a gift and a curse since childhood, that if I don't agree with something, I'm like, excuse me, I don't agree. We respect and integrity, and I think the older I get, the more respect and integrity I have. Maybe as a 15-year-old, as a 10-year-old, I wasn't very respectful because I didn't know very well. But I didn't care if it was the prime minister or the cops or my school teacher or my friend. If I saw something wrong, I would always speak up, and it got me in so much trouble. It got me into so much trouble. And then using my voice for my job as a teacher, you know, teaching yoga, you have to speak, right? You have to deliver a message, not just a sequence. It's like I think it made me reflect on how am I delivering my message. But like you were saying, my focus or my vision is so much greater than anyone's issues, because when people get threatened by me, it's not my issue. And also it's probably the wrong industry, because yoga it's union. So I stopped playing I maybe fit into the game a few times over the last maybe on the first year, when I felt pushed down, and I did feel like almost like I wasn't welcome in the industry. And I'm not saying from everyone, I'm not saying anyone specific, I'm just saying in general, that was the feeling I had. I felt like you're saying, who do you think you are? You haven't been doing yoga. I've been doing yoga for 20 years. And I'm like, great, but you never thought about helping youth, did you?
Yeah.
So this is the confidence of I've got my own back, and I'm not afraid to stand on my own, because my values and my organic following is grown through word of mouth, through what I give, through how I live my life, and through the realness that I have. I think the fact that I've been on my own and my journey on my own since I was 15, it's forced me to do me so well that I don't know how to pretend to be someone that I'm not, which most people struggle with, because most people want to be like the chick on the magazine, or like the yoga teacher on Instagram, or you know, like the famous nobodies, you know, like and for me, so I just know how to be me. Like I actually don't. This is me when I'm teaching, this is me when I'm working, this is me when I'm driving, when I'm with my friends, when I'm with a partner, this is me, period. And there are levels, right? There's boundaries. Maybe I won't be discussing if I go drunk on the weekend or not with my students, right? So the boundaries is a different thing, but the authenticity, I think, it's made people feel comfortable and connected. So when we think about like the industry, I wanted to disrupt the industry because I found it very ambitious, and I found that the yoga is the opposite, and it confused me, because I started my journey as a youth, you know, as a young person. That's when I founded my business, and I had no idea what I was doing. All I knew was that I had to deliver, or I had to like change the system.
So Kotte, we talked about your story and your journey. So, what would you tell people when it comes to what you can bring into a project as a foreigner, and um, what advice or like what words of knowledge, like having gone through all this journey, would you say to someone that is keen to go and live overseas, but it's maybe fearful of what can happen, or if they're going to ruin their career, or like how are they going to achieve their dreams, or maybe they don't even know what they would like to do. So what would you tell people?
It's like when have you ever heard the say, when is the perfect time to have children?
Yes.
When is the perfect time to have children? There's not perfect time.
Okay.
You're like, TikTok.
Yeah. Awkward.
There's no perfect time. So when we holding on, I think we're just wasting time. So if you, the way I see it is like, when you say like, what do you bring to the table by being a foreign, or what is it, how is it relevant in your career and living in New Zealand? I am a citizen now. I am a New Zealander, and I am very proud to be a New Zealander, but I wasn't before. So, well, how was that relevant in my journey as a yoga teacher or as a business entrepreneur, or whatever label we have? I think this is something that I told my students when I was teaching at the youth prison, and what I saw on them is something that I've been repeating as many times as I can to many audiences as I can get to, because when I moved to this country, I spoke no English. I moved to this country thinking I had heaps of money. I had $300. But because I exchanged and I saw heaps of notes, I was like, oh my God, this is lots of money. It didn't take too long for me to understand the conversion. I had no job, and now, yes, I live on my own, and I have my car, and I run my business, and I can, I don't know, I can do things that I never thought I could. Like last year, going to visit 2 different continents. In my entire life, I thought I would do that. Like in the same year, so it's like, you know, that was opportunity. They were both work, you know. One was a scholarship, one was a conference, 1,500 people like offering my, I guess, service. And so all of these things were, when I look back, and those are the things that made me look back to when I was very young, and I was directionless. I had no focus, and I was like, what am I? Like, I'm really unworthy in terms of like, how can I become a yoga teacher in a city that has yoga teachers? I don't have a studio, which is like when you're saying before, we always think we need this to start. Before I start, I need this. Before I do that, I need this. And I just started. I was like, I had 4 mats, you know, secondhand, you know. I started in the living room of my house. I had no studio. I completely disrupted the industry in terms of like, at least in the city, in terms of how we do it, how we do the yoga. Back in the day, 5 years ago, you would just go to a yoga studio. There were some community classes, but people look down at community classes because they're at the community hall. But now I have this mobile organization where I go around schools and offices and mental health organizations and multiple organizations. So what I said to this, going back to these young kids and the youth prison, when I saw them very hopeless and very uninspired, and that in a way triggered me and made me angry, because if I could hold a mirror and show them how I see them, it would be, for the whole life would have changed. If I could, even with you right now, you know, if you could see yourself the way I see you, you would be different to yourself. And maybe it's the same thing with me. If I could see the way the others see me, maybe I wouldn't have the maybe negative beliefs that I sometimes have. But I don't want to get rid of them because that's what feeds me and inspires me and it makes me better. But I said to them, if I, a nobody, was able to, one, learn English on my own, two, buy a car. In Chile, you come from South America, it's not very accessible to buy a car. In my class, you know, middle class, lower class, upper class, if I was able to learn to teach myself a new language and to buy a car and to knock doors, and you know, people don't know this, but I clean toilets and I work as a kitchen hand, and I was a waitress, and I work at a laundry, and I work in hospital, and people miss that, and they all see you're succeeding, and for them succeeding means 3,000 likes on social media. For me, succeeding is what we said before. Someone coming to me and say like, I feel crappy today, and I thank you because I feel better. That's success for me. Someone that will message me, an 18-year-old, saying like, today I thought about killing myself. You made me change my mind. I don't know if this will last, but I have changed my mind. And I'm like, it's overwhelming. When I die, I'm not taking this with me. Like, whether I go to a box, I turn into a tree, they burn me, it doesn't matter which way I'm gonna die. Like, what happens to the body. But I'm not taking my credit card, I'm not taking my bank statement, I'm not taking my car, I'm not taking my expensive shoes, I'm not taking anything. I'm only taking what I have here, what I've gathered here and here. So for me, that's kind of, it's important, money is important, but it's irrelevant. So if I was able to achieve all of those things, being nobody really in this country, and I might have told you this once, and I think it was at the same time we did this walk around the block near my house, that it's almost selfish and greedy that you don't share your gift.
Yeah.
I'm tired of that, because at least in this country we have the highest suicidal rates in the world. And right now there is a young person considering suicide that, and I'm speaking and I get this, goosebumps, and that's probably an incredible musician that in 10 years time I will be listening to this song, and that song will really help me to overcome something. Now I'm not saying everyone should be a yoga teacher, everyone should be a musician. All I'm saying is that the person that's considering suicide right now is an important politician, it's a prime minister, it's an artist, it's a painter, it's a vet. So this, for me, it's like, if I'm not sharing my gift of empowering people, and I don't care what path they follow, I'm being selfish and I'm being greedy and I'm just keeping it to myself. And like Einstein said, like, knowledge, if you don't share your knowledge, it will die within yourself. It will die in you. So I don't care if you have a degree or not. We talked about that.
Yeah.
I actually don't care about that knowledge, because if you're not sharing it, you don't get to do anything with it. I feel like we have enough knowledge on the internet and everywhere, but there's not enough wisdom. There's not people teaching wisdom, and I feel like I'm comfortably can call myself someone that I try to share my wisdom through my suffering. And it's not about, when I was 5 this happened. No, it's like we all suffer, we all go through things. So it's like, it's excuses. I found it lazy in a way. It's like, but I don't know, like, I don't know if I'll be good at it, or how do you know if you don't freaking try? I didn't know I was gonna be a successful businesswoman. I had no idea. I didn't know I was gonna work with youth. All I knew was that I connected to yoga connected with me, I felt comfortable, I felt empowered, I felt it was my call, I still feel it's my call, and I felt I had to deliver that. How, when, and with what, it didn't matter. I just knew I had to deliver it. And then life helped me in terms of it will get me to the right person, it will expose me. It's like your choices that you make. If you just said before we started recording, the importance of reaching out, and if we didn't have that conversation, you probably would still be in the same job that you didn't really like, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And if I didn't have this conversation over 5 years ago with one of my best friends, where I was just like, don't laugh, but I think I want to teach yoga. She did laugh. But she's my fan number one.
She gave you the printer, right?
Yeah, that's her. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
her. She calls herself. She's the CEO of Yoga by Kotte. She doesn't get paid, but she helps me a lot. But if I didn't reach out to her and say, "What do you think?" Like, I would have kept that inside of me, and I was still having a job that I hated. Yes, it was paying my bills. Yes, it was allowing me to do things, buy things, and experience things, but it was not fulfilling.
Yeah.
So this job fulfills my soul. So it might not always fill up my bank account, but it fills my soul, and like it fills my heart. It feeds my heart.
That's actually how I would define like the parameters for success, you know, because when we say like success, and like at a surface level, it's like we say success because you've been a person that's been able to create the opportunity and the possibility to reach people and to become a part of their lives and create change. So like that's another, maybe that's for a different topic, but like how do we define success? And to me it's just what you said, like, because there's not an ultimate goal. We're all in this journey, and then in the end we die. It's pretty much, you know, it's how it goes. But if you dare to do something that challenges you and it's important to you in your soul, like, then as long as you are sharing your gift, the material results are like a byproduct, you know, because you are on that journey. You don't know who you will impact, you know. It's like maybe you would change the world like one person at a time, and people that would get to know you and you share it with them and you would change their lives. Not that you have to change their lives, that's personal, you know. But
absolutely. But it's like what you're saying of there was a say about they really I think about it often. It's like, if you, I mean, and going back to you, it doesn't have to be about changing your life. It can be someone that provides a service or a product. Like, it doesn't need to be about starting a business, right? Like, I think we're caught up on what else everyone else is doing. And when they say, we always look over the grass, and we're like, well, that's greener. And I'm like, yeah, because you're busy looking at it, not watering your own grass.
Yeah, you know? Absolutely.
So and that's part of what we've been brought up in society. But at the same time, I always say this: we are society. We are the ones that have the power to change how things work. I have the power to stand up when I hear someone being racist. I have the power to be quiet and walk away in a way that's agreeing. So I am a change maker by nature. By existing, I am someone that can create change. I can be kind to you by choice, or I can be rude to you by choice too. Now, the subconscious things that we're not aware, we're not here, we're here. And I don't blame those people. I want people to wake up. And when I say wake up, I'm not talking about the chakras and the awakening, the spiritual and the Buddha. And I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about being conscious within yourself, being aware of yourself, which that will bring awareness about how you behave to others, how you treat others, because some people don't even know how they treat themselves. I wish I knew that to achieve something, 1, I had to start. 2, I had to stay focused. 3, I'm not going to be liked by everyone. 4, I might have said that in another platform, that I keep things very quiet. I don't tell people what I do. I'll quietly do things, and if I need advice, I will have 4 or 5 people that I trust. They're my mentors. They got their role to be a mentor through years of trust, you know. I will reach out to them.
Yeah.
And some things I don't even ask them. So if you're in foreign, I think for people like, I think a lot of my students really enjoy my accent. It's actually an advantage, you know. Yeah. People are like, what are you? Like, where are you from? Like,
people ask me if I'm French.
Yeah, right.
They're all the time like, no, I'm not French.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like,
I love that.
So I think whether you're, I think it's like talking about inclusion as well, because that fear of like, I'm not gonna succeed if I'm a foreign, It's the same fear that someone in the country that you're planning to go to has. Like, I'm not gonna succeed if I don't have a degree.
Or it's not even, yeah, exactly right. And it's not even like I'm not going to succeed if I'm a foreigner, but just not even starting or just like thinking. And I met so many working holidayers. I've been a working holidayer, but in a different stage of my life. I was 26 already. You were very, very young, but I was already at that age, and that's why I mentioned this, in which I would be like already had like kind of like my degree, which is not a university degree, it's like a tertiary degree, but you know, like you're in that stage where for me moving here meant that I had to leave, well, I did that before, but that I had to leave things that were already ongoing in Argentina. And of course I did all the shitty jobs in the first years, and like even when I was in Denmark. But then I started wondering what's in it for me, or like how can I leverage this hard work and just tell people, hey, like it's hard work. Like don't buy the bullshit that traveling or like living overseas it's easy and it's like beautiful for Instagram and you have like 200,000 followers, because that's like just a big ton of BS. But then I just wanted to tell people like, hey, like you still can do this. Like this is going to be a stage in your life. This is just like a moment in your journey, and then you can pretty much become whoever you want. You know,
I
you
think
need
it's
to
like really understanding the purpose, like the reason behind of why you're doing what you're doing. Do I want to become a yoga teacher because I saw this yoga teacher has 3,000 likes, I want 4,000 likes? Maybe it's the wrong motor, you know, like maybe it's the wrong reason. Or you know, like I want to do a cooking recipe book because I don't really care about food, but I heard the cooking books sell really fast. Like, I mean, you can do it, absolutely, go for it. But I think when you get to the root of your purpose and your values and like your reason behind of doing something, like why would I why would I run my business as a social enterprise when I can make heaps of money just paying for profit? I mean, because well, my motor and my inspiration and my reasoning is not money. If it was money, I would not be teaching yoga. Trust me, I will not be teaching yoga. I will be doing all the stuff, like absolutely all the stuff. But it's not, money is not what really fulfills my heart. Like it's like you know, like I think we're attached to things, and when you're saying the hard work, people think when people see someone succeeding, we often, and I'm including myself, we often think, oh, that was easy. Probably had a wealthy father, parents, like went to a good school, probably went to university. I think we've mentioned university a lot of times, and I think talking about university or not going to university, it does not define you. Yeah. You're not a culture person if you were to university or not. For me, a culture person, in my opinion, is someone that treats people with respect.
That's what I was thinking.
Someone with integrity, someone with courage, someone with desire, someone with discipline, someone with inspiration, aspiration. Not someone that can just tell me like I went to university for 5 years, 7 years, I owe this much money, and I work at the coffee shop.
But like not to say that having a degree is bad, but
no, it's incredible.
I go back to how you treat others. Like in my experience when I was in Denmark and I was housekeeping, so like I was working in this office building, and then some people, this is like a huge company, like huge, like very extremely fancy company. People would leave like banana peels on their desk, you know, and I would have to pick it up. People would leave shit in the toilet, and then I need to like flush, clean. And I feel like it's not like I was always conscious about these things because of my parents, the way they like my upbringing back in Argentina. But then experiencing that made me realize this very strong idea that I have, that it's like how you treat others
says more about you.
Says way more about you than anything else. To me, at least.
So when you say,
to me.
I'm not trying to say having a degree is a bad thing. I think it takes balls to go to university. I think it takes so much courage to decide to do a PhD or to go for a postgraduate. You know, like I think, but all I'm saying is that university is not for everyone.
If you don't have it's not a good enough excuse to stop you.
Do you have what it takes? You have the balls to work and work and work. I quit my 40-hour job to work, and you're a witness of this. For a long time, not have a life. And I'm saying not have a life, like a social life, like a Kotte life. Like Kotte's gonna go for a drink, or Kotte's gonna go to the movie. No, it was just like you said, I devoted to the organization because I saw the value in it. I saw the light in it. Like I saw this tiny little light, and I was like, it's like when you're starting a fire and you know the fire is going, but it just needs that little, and it's just like, I saw that. And I decided to spend the 5 years I have just blowing it every now and then, instead of like going to have a shower and going for a swim and going to
that you do take showers.
I mean, obviously, like, going to the movie or going to a cafe, like, or a bath, okay. I decided to do the hard work, but I think we're also lazy, and it's easier sometimes to not do the hard work. Sometimes it's like, oh, but that's so hard. Yeah. And so I guess my question for people is like, can you how truth to yourself are you? Yeah. How much are you? How much time? How much water are you pouring into your own garden? Whether it's a business or moving countries or whatever it is, and we don't give ourselves permission to fail, to suffer, to disappoint people. There's so many students. I work with a lot of young people. Oh, I'm in this career because my father wanted me to. What do you really want to do? Oh, I really want to be a musician. I'm like, oh my God, like we're losing an artist. Like, I don't want to disrespect them, and like and it becomes my mission of like maybe trigger the person, because maybe that father will say yes if the father really understands the passion of the child, right? But I think we're conditioned, and we don't allow ourselves to feel anger or sadness, and we bottle things up. It's like when I teach yoga, I'm not teaching physical flexibility. I try to teach people to feel to have a more flexible mind, not even an open mind. I don't care if your mind is open or not, if you're open-minded or not. I want you to think that your mind can bend and change shape and form, and like my beliefs have changed, and going like, my beliefs over the last 10 years, I'm not the same person I was. I don't believe the same things I believe because I question my own beliefs. Okay, you're this, but how do you know that's what you are? And what's your evidence? And what do you think about it? What about this? And like in terms of music, food, and like religion, and existential beliefs. And so I've started questioning things, but you have to dig into it, and you have to accept there will be times where you're gonna be sad, and like there will be times that you're gonna be like, why did I invest so much time? Like the times that I wanted to stop Yoga by Kotte, that was a lot of time. There were a lot of times, a lot of them. And it was funny you said that, because you mentioned that about, they say there is a book or something where they say like you're starting succeeding, or you're starting getting somewhere when you're very close to the edge, when you're very close to fail. And I can absolutely relate to that, because when I went through that really bad hardship, where I was doing so many classes a day, and I was teaching so many people, but I was not earning anything. Like it was sad. Like now I look back and I'm like, I would not let anyone go through that, whether it's teacher in yoga or whether it's cleaning. Like, I don't care what it is. Like it has to be an exchange, and I learned that hard way. I did learn the hard way, but that was the time where it was like, something needs to change. Something's gotta happen. Something's gonna change, and it was a massive disruption. And I feel very confident to keep the business, and to actually I understood the root of this business suffering, and I sit with it, which is what we should do with our feelings.
So to wrap up our interview, which has been amazing, Kotte, could you please tell us what's coming next, because you have many exciting things, and I would like to share that with the people out there.
I mean, thanks for the interview. I told her I hate talking. I hope it
I
is
can
really
tell.
short. Yeah,
I
people
can tell. It's a 15 minutes. But
so what's coming up? Coming up, I have a retreat from the 1st of November to the 3rd of November in Castle Hill in the South Island in New Zealand. The retreats go up unapologetically me.
unapologetically me.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah. So it's the intention of the retreat is to empower you, if you can relate to the title, I guess. We say sorry
I
a
can
lot.
certainly relate.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
say sorry a lot.
Mhm.
And like I said before, we're almost feeling sorry for being sometimes, and it comes from that background. So I wanted to create an environment or the space for people to empower themselves. So I had a day event for Women's Day this year, which was Unapologetically Me Day 1, and based on that was like what blew my mind, and we were like, okay, that needs to happen on a longer. There was not enough time.
Yeah.
So all the information is on the website. You might need to contact me if you want to know more deeper, more in-depth details about the event, but all the information is on my Facebook event or page or on my website. You can email me, I'll get back to you really quick. But we're including food. We have plant-based food for everyone that's joining us, just because it will make things easier for. I'm gluten-free, I'm dairy-free, I'm happiness-free, I'm sugar-free. So what do you eat? So we're going plant-based, and all of your meals are included, all your accommodation is included. Castle Hill is is a beautiful place for us to experience this, almost like, it's not even like a new birth. I don't want to sell you that. I just want you to discover or rediscover who you are and being you without feeling sorry.
Yeah.
Having that respect, but firstly, you need that self-respect, so you can say to someone F off without saying F off, but with a lot of class.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's like,
But it's for yourself. It's like for that voice that's always putting you down, and you just say like, hey, I'm unapologetically me, deal with it.
Or when someone is like, when someone might want to bring you down, and you don't know, you might feel like a pushover, and you don't know how to stand up for yourself. And we sometimes don't, because we don't want to be disrespectful, and we don't want to be rude. We don't want to be that person. But I think sometimes you need to find that voice where you can create that boundary, because if you don't show people how to respect you, people won't. And we learn by copying and by doing, and we witness things, and that's how we do things. That's me. Hey, you're back.
Also that people can go to your classes, and you're always doing these cool events, hikes, adventures,
yoga
talks,
hikes, yoga.
so much going on.
A yoga hike, a yoga walk, a yoga bike. We're doing. We've done harp yoga this year, piano yoga. I had a violin yoga event. We had
So creative. It's so creative. It's amazing. Yeah.
But yeah, anyone in Christchurch is welcome to come. And like I do a lot of mobile visits. So if you just need a shorter experience, like, it's mindfulness yoga meditation, and it's all in a creative, fun way. So it is accessible, and it's fun, and it's creative. I offer desk yoga, which is office yoga for those people that don't have the time to get changed and don't have the time or can't be bothered bringing a yoga mat, but they still need to switch off for a few minutes. Yeah, have a moment. And so just do the Facebook stalking, do your own research.
Okay, so Kotte, I was so happy when I saw that you were doing your retreat. I think it's a good step. Yeah, it's a good step. Yeah,
I think we'll.
And Castle Hill is just an amazing place. Magical, absolutely magical. So, any last thoughts, any conclusions that you would like to share in like 1 minute?
In 1 minute.
And then we finish.
You give me a deadline now, because I just thought. When does the minute start?
I don't have a timer, but
we already started that minute. Okay, final words.
It starts now. So, what do you say to people that's moving overseas and would like to start a project and don't know where to start?
Check in first. How you feel? what do you really want, because you might not want that project.
Okay.
Have you asked yourself if that's what you want? No fear. There will be things that are gonna go wrong. It's life. But if you're not willing to do the hard work, then maybe don't start anything. I mean, if you think it's gonna be super easy and like you're gonna just like have an amazing journey, I mean, you can make it amazing, but there will be the way I live my life, magic comes with a price. And if you're willing to pay that price, you will have amazing magic. But if you're not willing to do the hard work, then just keep flipping through videos on YouTube or, you know, like this. No one's gonna do it for you, I guess I'm saying.
Yeah.
And you don't need to know where you're going, you just need to start. And just really quick before my minute runs out, when I started teaching yoga, I didn't know I was gonna work with youth. I didn't know I was gonna be a social enterprise. I didn't know I was gonna be so devoted and passionate. I just knew I wanted to teach yoga.
Yeah.
And now the whole organization is defined itself. I haven't done much of it. Like, it's people, they've been giving me labels, TEDx speaker and like youth worker and like motivational speaker. I'm like, cool, I'm all of that. I'll take it.
Yeah.
But I've knocked doors and I've done the hard work. So if you don't want to do the hard work, then maybe don't go anywhere. But no, they will.
I like that. Like, you like picking up people. Like, start a conversation. Start thinking.
Yeah.
Are you willing to get the work done?
Yeah. If
That's
you're
amazing.
laziness, selfishness, and greediness, for me, in my eyes, in my heart, the biggest suffering
And self-indulgence to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the root of our suffering.
Yeah.
So stop being greedy and stop being selfish by keeping your gifts to yourself. You have to give them away. That's the only way they're gonna grow and the only way you're gonna get things back. Like, you have to give them away. And yeah, and then start sharing. Like, be the artist that you're meant to be the business person or the insurance. It doesn't matter what you do. Just allow yourself to try. And if it doesn't work, at least you try. But then you're gonna be 60 or 80 and you're gonna wonder what would have happened if you did.
And if it didn't work that way, you would just start something different, because you've already learned so much that you will always take that learning. You wouldn't even notice how much you've changed. So like, you just take that knowledge and then you make something different.
Yeah, you realize that you can do it. And I think you when you realize, which is why I invite everyone to have yoga, give yoga a go, because when you realize you can stand on one leg, or you can go upside down, or you can just hold a position without thinking you're dying, it makes you realize that you can do anything you want.
Well, that's why I like to get people to know that they actually have the possibility to go travel and explore the world.
Yeah.
And just do their own thing. I mean, it's not like you have to go to a different country. You can go camping outside town on weekends.
Yeah,
and just like start there. Like, if you have no money, I'm sure there's someone on the Facebook group that can lend you a tent. Just grab a tent and try and sleep in the park.
Just just sleep in your backyard, you know.
Yes, go on a backyard adventure.
Because you don't know what you can do until you do it, and until you try to do it. So I didn't know I could go upside down until I had a go, and I was like, oh, actually, wait, can I? Yeah. I didn't know I could do a TEDx talk until I was asked to do it, and I was like, oh my god, I'm dying. No, I actually did it. You know, like, I didn't know I could be who I want to be until I understood that there is no one ever that's gonna do me as well as I do me.
Okay, I love it.
Thank you. Thanks for the time.
I love your story, and I love you, my friend.
Oh, thank you for having me. I feel so spoiled, and I'm so honored that someone is trying to find the space for people to have these conversations. I think these conversations should be happening whether you are traveling, whether you don't have a business or you do. Like, we need to talk. We're not communicating. And I think from all the things that have happened in Christchurch recently, it's made me aware that we gotta talk. We gotta share how we feel, and we gotta express what we have to express. Yeah. So my form of expressing is movement, and I wanna express how I feel based on how I move. And it's not even yoga. It's just allowing myself to
just
move.
Walking the planet, right? Just like being
just if you don't, I think it's for me. It's like every morning I wake up, whether I'm happy or I'm sad. Like, I realized that I'm basically a walking miracle. There's billions of organisms, protons, and things.
There's so many things going on at the same time,
Yeah,
just so you can get out of bed.
So all of these things inside of me are creating me and working over time sometimes for me, because I drank too much coffee, or I'm not drinking enough water, or I'm not eating very well, or I'm not exercising enough. And these parts of my body, they're trying to find harmony without me even asking for it. How incredible is that? So start your day with gratitude, you know. One thing, maybe go to 3, but one thing, as soon as you wake up, boom, wow, I can see.
Yeah.
Wow, we are pretty lucky.
We are.
Namaste.
We are.
Okay, we need to finish this because we're gonna keep talking.
Oh, Roy, do you
Any
have
final
something
words?
you would like to share? Oh. Oh.
No.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thanks for watching.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.